everyone. Thank you so much for visiting me today to learn more about my new picture book, Night Owl Night. Here I am in my home office where I do most of my writing and revising. As you can see, I'm surrounded by some animal friends. Otters are my favorite. And here are some of the owls that will be accompanying me on my programs this summer and fall. And of course, lots and lots of books. Nature field guides, anthologies, and lots of children's books. Here are the color proofs that Charles Bridge sent me to check before the book went to print. Imagine how excited I was to see my illustrator Maribel Lechuga's beautiful illustrations in full color for the first time. For the rest of our time together, I'm going to talk about how this book about owl conservation and a mother-daughter relationship came to be. As a preschool teacher on a farm and wildlife sanctuary in eastern Massachusetts, I am extraordinarily fortunate to work with a lot of amazing people, many of whom know a lot more about things that I care about than I do. Things such as sustainable farming, wildlife ecosystems, conservation, and birds. You often hear people counseling young writers to write about what you know, and that's a great place to start. But I find it only takes you so far. Better advice might be, write about what you're passionate about, or write about what you want to learn. Because what I've learned as a writer is that writing is not a process of telling. It's a process of discovering. And when you undertake this journey of discovery as a writer, you have a wonderful opportunity and a privilege to take your readers along with you. For Night Owl Night, my journey of discovery began right here at the sanctuary where I teach nature preschool. Kathy Seymour, the banding station manager, had invited me to join her for an evening of saw-whet owl banding. I had never before seen these tiny migratory owls, so more than anything in the world, I just wanted to see one in the wild. I had no thought at all about writing about them. I just wanted to do this passionately in my heart. So I accompanied Kathy one magical moonlit night, just like my main character Sova accompanied her researcher mother. The night was just falling on that October evening when we headed out to this cabin to set out our equipment. Then we began walking along the darkening trails, now empty of the day's visitors and busy nature classes. It was just us, Kathy, me, and another bander, walking up a trail I had been so many times with my students, but the trail looked completely different in the dark. I was full of questions as we set up the nets, and full of anticipation too. And like Sova, I was also a little bit worried, because when you set out to find wildlife, there are no guarantees. On some nights, dozens of owls had flown into the nets, but on other evenings, the banders went home without seeing a single owl. So I knew from the outset that that was a possibility. But from the moment I strapped on my headlamp, I was no longer a teacher. I was a student, thirsty for knowledge, and ready to explore a totally new experience. And I believe that that's where my very best writing comes from. By the end of the night, I knew I simply had to share this with as many children and their families as I could. I wanted to be their guide through this wondrous night of enchantment and discovery. And for those of you who read Night Owl Night, I hope that I have succeeded. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you around the trails.